This is Sneaker Gears. My name is Levi, and welcome today to a unique episode of Performance Gears, where we're doing a performance comparison on the Kobe V Protro. Now I'm recording this shortly after the death of Kobe Bryant early in 2020 here. So I'm going to try to stay as objective as possible because I do have a lot of emotions into it. And in doing a review, obviously I want to be at least as analytical as possible and do everything based on comparisons. So this is a shoe we can absolutely compare against other expensive shoes. $180, this is not cheap. So this can go against something like a Jordan 34 or a LeBron 17 in that price range. Because of the cushion setup, it's something that you can compare favorably against something like what we have behind here, the Kyrie 6 or the KD 12 or the Zoom Universe. But today we're going to focus mostly on comparing it to other Kobes. Now, what's unique about this shoe is this may have been the last performance shoe that Kobe Bryant himself had a hand on. Usually they're about a year out, so it's possible next year's version, whatever they're doing, he already tinkered with. But without getting too far, and if you guys want to just know the answer, this might be one of the best Kobes ever. Let's jump into the review. All right, as always, starting with the fit. The term fits like a Kobe, I think, started with the Kobe V. This thing is just amazing. It really is. Now, one thing it's been noted for, and this is my original pair, I can't speak for the new versions, is they're not the most durable. It uses a very thin fuse upper that molds to your foot, moves with you, and it just becomes a one-to-one fit. It's so good, in fact, the OG himself, Nightwing, if you guys watch the Wear Testers channel, he is developing a shoe with WAU, We Are Underdogs, and the way the shoe fit is based on the Kobe 5, if that tells you anything. Now, I believe that shoe will be going on pre-order soon. Just shout out to him. I know I'm going to be getting a pair, but that's how good of a fit this is. Now, you definitely can go true to size. For me, that would be a 12.5. I'm a 12 wide. But I do remember with my original pair, I did a 12.5. And while I was running and moving, this area right here kind of dug in. If you have a wide midfoot, it does run a little bit more narrow in the midfoot. Now, it molds to you. I think the toe box is just fine if you have a wide toe box. Any other kind of foot sizes you may have, whether it's a high instep or a larger ankle bone, you're going to be just fine going true to size. I went with a 13 on this, which again is my traditional Kobe size, and the fit is just amazing. So I would say go with your Kobe size. I've been a 13 on a lot of shoes. Otherwise, go true to size, or if you're a wide footer, maybe go up half a size for that midfoot section. Working our way down to support, this is one of the most supportive low tops you're ever going to see. Now, this reminded me a lot of the most recent released Adidas Don 1, where you have a hugely exaggerated outrigger here, which is really nice. Now, you have this one here as well as it kind of coming out, so it gives you a really wide, stable base. Unlike the Don 1, this is something that is not clunky. It is not heavy. As far as the heel cup, you have an external heel cup, but you also have, if you guys can hear it, a internal heel cup that pretty much takes this whole back portion of the shoe. So it ends up being very rigid in the heel, and I would say the most supportive Kobe ever is generally considered your Kobe 9. Now, where you have your carbon fiber on the back, which is super rigid, even more so, as well as a carbon fiber piece here, and then you still have that kind of general wide outrigger. This is not too far off from that. The difference being this is going to be lighter, less clunky, better transition. We'll get to the cushion there. And this is definitely something, if you need support and you don't like low tops, that's the one to try. So if you're a fan of Kobe and you are hesitant because it's a low top, don't be. This thing is incredible. Now, the three parts of the support are having a locked-in fit, which this absolutely does, having a lateral containment, which the materials here and the outrigger, you really feel like your foot is not going anywhere, and finally having a very stable base. Unlike the Kobe V Protro, which saw Lonzo Ball kind of just roll his ankle randomly because they weren't quite as stable, you can't really turn this shoe when it's planted. God forbid you do land on someone's foot. That's possible, but otherwise it is an incredibly stable shoe. And not to mention, and I don't know if Fast Pass or anybody has cut the shoe, but the carbon fiber plate here on the bottom does feel larger and extended. You do have a lot more kind of flick back effect. So that, and we'll talk about that in the cushion, does give you a little bit more propulsion, but also gives you a nice bit of rigidity, and again, just adding that much more to the support. Now, getting to the cushion, this is the part where this might be the best Kobe ever. Now, generally, some of the best cushion ever has been the most recent Kobe AD NXT FF with that React cushion and Cushlon combo. Now, this is using what I am calling Cushlon 2.0. And if you're asking what that is, this is not official from Nike, but I will do a video on it. Starting with the Adapt BB last year, Nike started using a foam that they were calling Cushlon. It's much softer, has a little bit of bounce to it, has a little more plushness to it, and overall it's really nice. Some other shoes it's been used in, and this is also one that has some Kobe lineage, is your N7 Heritage. This is another shoe that, again, Nike has been very coy with what foam is in here, but this is an incredibly plush, very comfortable shoe, which again, I'm going to be calling kind of your Cushlon 2.0. It's a very comfortable foam. Now, they're using that as the full-length foam and the carrier for the Zoom Turbo in the forefoot. Now, it's replacing a large volume heel zoom unit that was in the original Kobe 5, and back-to-back, honestly, I like this better. Now, the most recent Kobe to use a more traditional Kobe setup is going to be your Kobe 80 Exodus. This used a large volume heel zoom with an injected Phylon tooling for the rest of the shoe for the forefoot. Going back all the way to probably the Kobe 8, we've had either a full-length foam setup with Lunar, with the Kobe 9 still Lunar. The Kobe 10, they started introducing zoom in the heel and foam for the rest of the foot. Now in the Kobe 8 Elite, we did have a zoom bag in the heel, but it's a really stiff foam. I can't really say that I was that comfortable. And as far as the forefoot zoom, the original Kobe 5, take a look here, had a zoom bag right here. Now I do have the original zoom bag. If you guys are following me on Instagram, I actually played with my Bruce Lees, and having that full-length zoom just made the transition on this so much better. This is giving you a larger zoom bag in the forefoot than any Kobe prior, and it's giving you a foam setup that, even playing with these side by side with this massive heel zoom that generally does feel really good, you're not missing the zoom bag on this, guys. Now, I can't see maybe possibly some smaller players not liking the stability as much because it is a very soft foam, but Nike does a great job as far as, you can kind of tell here, widening out the heel. So it gives you a little bit more coverage, as well as giving you a nice rigid heel so you always feel locked in. So I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue, but you are getting a nice soft heel like you are if you have a large zoom bag. You're getting a nice transition flowing in with the zoom bag and the forefoot taking up almost the entire aspect here. So it's something where you have that carbon fiber kind of pushing you forward into the zoom and really pushing you off. It feels amazing. Now, one of the best cushions released in 2019 was that in the KD12. I think almost anyone can agree. If you've tried it on, you can say, yeah, this thing feels amazing. Doesn't matter who you are, it was a really nice setup. You're getting a similar heel cushion from that, and you're getting a nice similar smooth transition from that. This is just closer to the ground, and that Zoom Air is probably 30 to 40% less plush where it's closer to the ground, it still feels very quick, but you're still getting a little bit of that zoom where it still feels really nice. And even compared to something like the Kyrie 6, I don't know if the zoom bag is either larger or closer to your foot, but it still feels a lot more comfortable than that. This is something that is probably the best cushion setup we've ever seen on any Kobe. Now, wrapping up with the traction, that's probably the only negative on the shoe, and it's not a negative. I don't want you guys to think like, oh man, that's gonna make or break the shoe. No, the traction is really good. It's just shallow. It's not that durable. So this is something I wouldn't recommend outside. Point blank, guys. This is an on-court only option. And on top of that, it's not going to give you that squeak. It's not going to bite as aggressively. I think the Kobe 4 traction was a little bit better. It bit harder. It dealt with dust a little bit better. You do have to wipe every so often. So if you like the Kobe 4, you're going to like these just fine. And it's maybe a half step below that, but still very good. This is on the same lines or on the Jordan 34 with its herringbone traction. So if you've used those or if you've seen reviews on those, it's in that same ballpark, and obviously they're about 180, so very similar. I was playing against this, and I would say this is, man, I'm trying to liken it to other Kobe's, but it's, if you played in the Kobe 6, the Kobe 8, they're just very good traction setups. So this is not a negative of the shoe, but when you have a fit being so spot on, when you have the cushion being so amazing, you have support being just in the upper echelon of what's available, the traction is the only thing that's not absolutely elite, and that's okay. I'm willing to take the smoother transition of this cushion setup and the fit and the support that we're getting from here with this cushion setup almost over the Kobe 9, guys. Now the Kobe 9, my favorite setup, and you guys can almost see inside of here, is with the Kobe 11 cushion in here. This is obviously in honor of Kobe, the one I've been playing in this week, and it's an unbelievable shoe. The traction is still beyond anything today almost. This is not giving that level of traction, but everything else, I might take it over that, and that's how good it is. Overall, if this is the last Kobe that Kobe Bryant himself had a hand in, damn, like he went out with a bang. Now, if you are trying to get these, the reports have been conflicting. Initial reports where Nike pulled everything Kobe, whether it's shoes, gear, from the site. Cousteau, Jacques, if you follow him, has reported that they simply sold out of everything. Now, Nike is looking at the next strategy of what to release, how they're going to do it, and if you are looking to buy any Kobe shoes going forward, it's sad, but his untimely death has kind of left an opportunity for a lot of vultures or scavengers. And being a businessman, I do understand the demand is huge. We have never lost a legend. If you go through the NBA, everyone's still with us. And if in sneaker terms, we've never lost someone who has their own signature line. Go through the ranks. Even Fila's Grant Hill is still with us. Iverson, Reebok is with us. Shaq, the original shoe, Jordan. I mean, anyone who's had a shoe is with us. Converse, when they were doing stuff with Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson. A lot of the legends, if not all of them, are with us, enjoying life. And Kobe was robbed of that. We were robbed of him. So if you are looking to buy Kobe shoes, I hope Nike does it right and releases everything, as many as possible, with the proceeds going towards whatever foundation or charity Vanessa Bryant deems appropriate. If you're looking to buy Kobe now, you're going to be spending a lot of money, and that's unfortunate and that's sad, but that's kind of the day and age we live in. I'm glad I got these when they released and I was able to enjoy them, and this was kind of a tough video to put out. If you're watching this in the future, I don't know if it ever really goes away. That kind of hurt, that pain, and whenever you wear his shoes, it's going to mean something different. I hope Nike does it justice as far as shoes they put with his name on it, the decisions they make going forward, if they're going to do his own brand, kind of like they do with Jordan brand. I don't know, a lot of questions in the air, but what I can say is this is an amazing shoe that did him right, that is bears his name appropriately, and I'm glad I own. Obviously, I would like to get more pairs coming up, and the way the market looks, it's going to be one of those, a lot of hype around it, but at least for good reason. And I just hope the resale market isn't flooded with a lot of just kind of greedy people. It's a weird thing to talk about, but guys, if you're able to get any Kobe's, there's more meaning behind it now. Get them. There's a few bad ones in there, but mostly the Kobe line is incredible. The way he had a hand in what he wanted in his footwear really affected how I analyze shoes, how I view shoes as gear and tools for athletes. Where if Kobe did it, there's some validity to it, guys. If he wants to have a millimeter shaved off of his shoe to be a little closer to the ground, and that affects your performance, yes, you can play in anything. Having the right gear makes all the difference, and I believe that, Kobe believed that, and I'm gonna keep striving for that, making sure athletes are wearing the right gear, where we can do as much as possible to make sure that happens. It's not just for looks or style, but it's about getting athletes in the right shoes and the right gear so they can perform at their best. And I do that because of Kobe. This channel is because of Kobe. So with all that said, I apologize for the long rant, guys. I really appreciate you. Like this video, subscribe it, share it. If you have any comments down below, I'm happy to answer any questions. We are going to be comparing this shoe in probably the next 3-4 videos as well. We have the PG4 video coming up that I obviously decided to push back a little bit. So guys, really appreciate you. This is Levi Sneaker Gears. I'll come at you later.